Witches, witchcraft. What does that mean? What are witches? Are they evil, or is that just a myth? Today on Truth Be Told, we have Dawneas Adams, the Witch of Malibu, talking about witches, witchcraft, and the mystical arts. We have a lot to talk about. We hope you enjoy this show. I'm Tony Sweet with Truth Be Told. Please welcome to the Truth Be Told studios for the first time, Dawneas Adams, the Witch of Malibu. It is Dawneas. How you doing?
Hey, thank you so much for having me on. This is a pleasure and was a last minute thing. I
It
think
was.
the timing was pretty, I didn't have anything on my calendar and it was great. So I'm really happy to be here.
Well, I'm happy you're here too. After all these years, I've had a few witches on before in the past, and I find this subject is one of my favorite. And we've talked about the Salem, the witchcraft, the witch trials and stuff like that. And because I think a lot of times when people think of witches, we think of evil and ugly and, bad things until actually Bewitched came on air. And then we actually got to see a different side of witches. But can you explain the difference between witch, Wicca, and kind of what you are? Because there's a difference. I didn't even know there's a difference in witchcraft.
Sure. Happy to do from my point of view, of
Sure,
course.
of
Everybody
course.
has their own point of view. I am a hereditary witch. My ancestors are from Ireland, and my mother was a witch, and my grandmother, and so on. So I'm a bloodline witch. So that's what I came in with. And the knowledge I have magically, as well as all of my paranormal gifts, I was born with that. So I didn't really study or anything. I just knew it. I knew it. I don't know how I knew it. I did. Witchcraft, I practice the old ways, and so that's spell casting and whatnot. My specialty is banishing magic. That's what I'm known for. That's my specific area. Wicca is more of a pagan, new age pagan based belief system, where it is very tied to the seasons of the year.
Right.
And it's beautiful and lovely, and I have nothing but respect for my brothers and sisters in that movement. I am a solitary witch. I have no coven. I've joined no coven. I work alone, and I was born with it in my blood. So the magic that I practice is something that is just, it's like breathing. It's just a natural thing for me. Is one more powerful than the other? Not necessarily. I think I feel like whatever your jam is, more power to you. And if you're harnessing as a Wiccan, let's say, if you're harnessing the elements, earth, air, fire, and water,
Right.
and whatnot, and spirit, and you're practicing the Sabbats, blessed be to all of you. Being a hereditary witch is a different thing. It's in your blood. In other words, whether I wanted it or not, like the color of my eyes, I have it. I'm stuck with it. I did not talk about the craft for many years of my life. I did not want to go public with the fact that I was a witch. I have a full-time practice, have had for many, many years, and using my, all of my paranormal gifts. When I first opened my practice, I said to the powers that be, if there is a need, give me the ability to fill that for a client or for a person who's coming to me. I did use magic prior to me coming out of the broom closet. I just didn't tell them. And people are like, you're so good, this and that. And, blessed be for that. However, Sandra Bullock was my client back in the day. I normally do not mention my people because they're very, very private. But Sandy went on national TV and told everyone about me. So the cat's out of the bag, so to speak.
Right.
She had me come in and work on practical magic. They were having problems with the script. And I did. I worked on it and I redid the script so it was magically powerful, And she asked me to come to the premiere, kicking and screaming. I went. So I came out of the broom closet on the red carpet of that movie. And when I did that, it scared me to death. I mean, honestly, I have had many lives where I've worked this power, and I have been murdered in every way imaginable. So in this lifetime, I was like, I don't want to go there. I want to stay far away from it. My mother was a hereditary witch, but my mother practiced the dark arts, and to horrible, horrible outcome in her life. And I never wanted to do that and denied it for a long time. After practical magic, I had no choice. So I was inundated with people and whatnot. So it's like, I don't know exactly how I know what I know. I just do it, and I do practice the old ways. I do cast magic. I do use a cauldron. I do use candles. I don't cast for myself. My thing before I came to earth was, I will use this power for the good of others, but not for myself.
Right.
So people started, once they found out I was, a lot of craziness happened for a while. I declined a lot of offers. But there was the odd time where somebody was in real trouble, and my specialty is banishing magic.
What is that? What do you mean by banishing magic? Like spells on people, or?
No, yeah, that too. But really, legal work is something that I do when I feel that the client is coming from a righteous place. I make things that are bad go away for people. And it's a rare gift, and I don't use it loosely. I seldom use it. Like, I will go every direction I can, whether it's a counseling session or a little mojo bag or whatnot. And if I can't do it that way, then, and I look at astrology to do this. I use astrology when I cast. I see where the planets in the sky are. When the moon is in Scorpio, that is the most powerful time to do banishing magic. So I will look for that, and I will go in and do it. And once I do it, that's that, so I work a lot of, I do, a lot of my clients are in the movie business, in the industry, probably because I live in LA and whatnot, but I have done all over the world, FedEx my wax all over the world for people. It's crazy. It's a crazy thing.
So
however being said, not to interrupt, I don't use magic lightly.
Right.
It's not something I do like, oh, sure. And then that too. No, you have to have respect for power.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Or it will like come back on you. So,
I think we see that a lot with, people of power. You see it kind of come back and haunt them.
Yeah, it's kind of running rampant right now.
Yeah, right. So
we're not going to go down that road.
No, yeah, we won't go down that road.
No.
But my question is, the magic, does it come from a person? Does it come from the universe? Does it come from another witch? I mean, because if you're trying to
what you call the universe.
So why would the universe cast, not really a spell, but put magic on someone in a negative way? Or is that just karma from the past life?
No, the universe does not put negative or positive magic on anyone. The person who is wielding the power directs where the power is going to go.
Got it.
The person commands the elements to do their bidding. When I cast, I'll just use myself because I'm not going to reference other people in their practice.
Right.
When I cast, I call down the elements, and I call down a greater element, which is spirit, to facilitate that which it is that I'm putting in the cauldron.
Right.
And I literally feel like a bolt of power come through me when I am working, and the cone of power raises, and I can feel a snap when it's gone out and the spell has happened. I mean, the wax, you're working with a cauldron, wax crystals, herbs, what have you, but really the power comes from something that comes through me. I am not it. That's the thing. I summon it, and that's how it works. It doesn't, that intelligence of the all that is doesn't really have a this is bad or this is good, because this is Earth, and there are many other planets and whatnot. There are other planets with other beings that are way more evolved than any of us,
right?
who I have tremendous respect for, by the way. I'm always going out of my yard and going, or, out of my deck and going, I live in Malibu, and going, just come and pick me up.
I used to say that all
do
the
it.
time as a kid.
Do it.
Just take me
come
away.
and get me, and there have been the odd moments where I thought I saw something in the sky. I'm like, yes, I'm here. I'm like waving my arms going, please come and get me. Especially now, please come and get, just land and do your thing,
Right. Make yourself
So,
known.
yeah, please, TBK, truth be known. Or as I love the name of your podcast, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Truth be told,
I have been using the terminology truth be known, which is what I do in my sessions and with magic. I literally cast truth be known magic. The truth of this situation be revealed, the truth be known. So when I heard the name of your podcast, I'm like, this is a sign I have got to work with this guy.
Good. I'm happy.
Here we are.
Well, tell me when you do, is because I know you said you use wax, you use candles, herbs. What are some of the powerful? Why is wax? Why is candles? Why are some herbs more powerful than others to help in removing negativity?
Right. I only use I use human candles.
Human?
Okay. Yeah. There's a place that I get them. That is down. I've always worked with human candles. They're the most powerful. And I only use 3 different colors. I use black for banishing and red, which is fast action, depending on who I'm casting for, a man or a woman or parties involved.
Right.
And for drawing magic, I use green and red. That's all that's it. That's all I do. If you're out there listening and want to, do your thing with casting, you can always use a white candle. It's like there's no energy either way, so you're going to be fine with that if you're first starting out. Human candles are hard to get. You have to know where. I can't give you that reference. But
what is human candles? What is that?
They are candles that are literally shaped like a man or a woman.
Got it. I thought you meant like earwax.
No, they're about 6 inches, 8 inches high. And they come in the form of the shape of a man, shape of a woman. You put a sigil on it as you're, depending on what spell you're casting.
Right.
And I have my cauldron came from Africa years ago. I have 2, one for banishing and one for drawing. I don't do a lot of drawing magic, as it turns out. Maybe because I have 5 planets in Scorpio on the 12th. Who knows? Who knows in astrology. Banishing magic is my specialty, so I tend to stick with what it is that I do, and that's what I'm known for. So, I will use a black. Let's say it's a lawsuit. Let's say it's that. So parties involved that we're banishing from the situation. Let's say there's 4. So I would put 4 black and 4 red. I always use red for every spell because it's fast action. It makes things happen faster. That's just been my experience. How did I know that? I don't know. I wish I could tell you how I know it. I have no idea. My goodness. So in the back of my office, I have shelves, and on those shelves are crystals and herbs and whatnot. And again, I don't know. When I'm going to cast a spell, I focus on the client I'm working with and the situation at hand, and I just close my eyes and begin to pull from the shelf, and put it into like a mortar bowl. And I also use elixirs to work as well, and I have various kinds. And again, I don't know how I know it. I just do. And the first thing I do when I cast is I work the spell up on my computer. I sit down and tune in, because I am an intuitive as well. I will tune into the situation and the person's energy and the divine outcome for it, which is truth be known. When a client comes to me to do this work, before I decide to do it, I say, look, what I'm going to do is a truth be known thing here. So if you have something to hide, it's going to come out. So if you don't want that, I'm not your person. Right. Normally I can tell when they call, whether it's something I want to do. But when they get in here, I want them to understand it will be full disclosure. We're not just going to take down what you consider the bad guys over there. We're going to take, if there's something in your situation with this particular thing you want that you're hiding, that will be revealed as well. So I'm all about the truth, and it's not everybody it's not for everybody. Magic is not for everybody, period. It's not a game. It's not something to do for grins. It's serious business. And I take it very seriously. But if I decide to cast, then I go in guns blazing. You know, I mean, I just do put everything into the cauldron. I work up the spell on my computer, the words to the spell. Like, you know, by fire, water, earth, and air, I cast a spell. Oh, yes, I dare. And then I start moving into the specifics of the spell. I make 9 copies of it. I just, you know, go back, pick out my herbs, and then on the exact, I usually work at 3:33. That's when I do it. That's when I do my magic, 3:33, because it's as I will, so mote it be, 3 times 3 times 3. You know, so the number 3 is really powerful in the magical realm. So everything for me is calibrated around that number when I'm actually going to do the work. And I will just start chanting the spell, and I put the candles in the cauldron, and the herbs and the whatnot have already been put in the cauldron, light the candles, cast the circle of protection. And then I just start chanting the spell. I usually close my eyes when I work. You know, I just am so focused on what I'm doing. I have had the odd time where I've opened my eyes and the cauldron flames are leaping so high. I'm like, oh my God, it's going to catch the tree above me on fire. Oh no. You know, I mean, there have been those crazy moments.
Right.
Or I will be casting outside on my deck. I have a little private deck where nobody can see me, obviously. And the mist will come in, and it will be like sunny, and then there'll be all this fog around me, you know, when I'm working, because once again, I'm doing banishing magic, you know. And that's kind of a trip. I'll open my eyes and be like, whoa, you know, I mean, it's you're literally stepping into another dimension when you do this kind of thing. If you're doing it really right and calling it down, you're literally stepping into another dimension. And when you come back, and this is every time I've ever cast it, the world isn't quite the same. It's just you're in another space where all the chatter here on earth is just not there. And when you come back, then you're like, oh yeah, I'm back here. And you know, I have had the thing where I actually have to then drive to wherever it is to drop the wax. You know, that's another thing. The wax dries out, and then I will read the wax for the client. And I don't work with my client there. I will just take notes and tell them. And then I will drop. There have been many times where they don't live here, or they're shooting in somewhere else. Right. Obviously, this was prior to COVID. And I will FedEx it to them, to the set, or whatever, you know. But I have one client who had a hearing in actually DC, and he had his lawyer take the wax with him on his private jet, and he went into the courtroom and whatever. I was like, oh my God. And he won, you know. So this was after a 10-year battle and hundreds of millions of dollars, and his lawyer said, can I please hire this woman full time?
So
he said no.
He's like, no. But how does one determine? Because I mean, you know, growing up in the Midwest and the Bible Belt, we always hear of witchcraft is evil, and you know, it's
my daddy used to preach that a lot, darling.
Right. And so how, because you were saying before the show that there are people that use witchcraft not for the dark side or the dark lord. Can you explain? Because I mean, going back in history, even through the Bible, they talked about prophecies, you know, psychics, you know, witches. You have saints and, you know, popes and high religious figures. There, in some ways, there's not a lot of differences to me, because they're doing a lot of the same work, unless they're doing not good things.
Right. Well, because I'm the daughter of a preacher.
Hallelujah.
Yeah. Thank you, Jesus. I said to my father when I was very young, because I saw what happened in those tent meetings was a collective consciousness of people who desperately needed a healing.
Right.
So my father was a very good-looking, charismatic guy, but he didn't have my chops. He didn't have my magical skills. Right. So, you know, he would have me pick out, he would stand me up there and go, what do you see? And I would tell him, and then he would say, Jesus said sister so and so has something in her stomach, you know, and I
Oh,
thought
wow.
that that was weird because I definitely knew I was not Jesus, you know. So you know, it's a situation where I have seen my own father in his work, in his you know, evangelical work, misuse power
Right.
because of his ego. Okay, you know, so it isn't a sect thing. It isn't, if you're a Christian, you're not going to misuse power. If you're a witch, you're not going to misuse power. If you're a Catholic, you're not going to misuse power. The thing about the craft is it's about power. At the end of the day, no matter what you put in your cauldron, if you don't know how to harness power, it's not going to work. You know, I do know how to harness power, and I know how incredibly effective it is. So I have awe and respect for what it is that comes through me. People that practice the dark arts practice for one reason and one reason only. What do you think that is, Tony?
I mean, I would say power,
Exactly. Period.
or in some aspects, a lot of like even cults, it's more like revenge for something. They're
But it's
getting
still about
rebels,
power,
or
right?
yeah, it's
It's
still
still
power.
about power at the end of the day.
Right.
It's like, you know, this guy did me wrong
Right.
now, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
I got to tell you, you know, as at the Witch of Malibu, when I came out on social media, which I really had a hard time doing, and still kind of too, because I've worked in private practice for so many years, and people know about me, but they never talk about me.
Right.
When they're in trouble, they call me. So it was a big stretch for me to go on social media, and a real education, because I didn't realize the extent of it. You know, I mean, I didn't realize, you know, where it was going and who was going to be seeing it and whatnot. The girl and I that started this together, bless her heart, we just had like, you know, okay, let's see how this goes. But I myself had to really have, in my daddy's words, a come to Jesus moment. It's ironic to hear a witch using Jesus's name, but I do, because I was raised in the church, and the Master Jesus was a powerful, powerful man. So mad kudos for him, you know. I wasn't sure, and I'm still not sure about social media. But the impact you can have, I had to make a choice on there, you know, so I do what I can to my thing was, I want to show the world what a real witch looks like.
Right.
So this is what a real, you're looking at a real witch here, a woman that was born as a child to the craft. All right. And it isn't what people think it is, but I'm sorry, I got off track. Back to the use of dark magic. The biggest currency down here on earth, and I think we've all seen it lately, especially, is the lust for, or the desire for power.
Mm-hmm.
What I don't understand is somebody who actually can wield it, call it up and wield it. I have a hard time understanding why you would do it for destruction. I just do. I do. And why would you do it to control other people? You know, whether it's organized religion or whatever it is, why? You know, I can't like look at that. I know it happens. I've met people that practice the dark arts. You know, I've met people that practice sex magic and whatnot. And, you know, I don't have any judgment on that. I just really, what it is about is the feeling of having power, that you have power over others. And I don't really understand why people want that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
either. But I mean, you see it all the time, and
yes, I do.
You see, you know, these, and I'm not going to call out names, but televangelists. Many of them
Oh, honey, don't get me started.
They're not, you know, they're not.
My dad back in the day, you know, my
it's
dad
hard
was
to believe
with
people give them money
Billy
still.
Graham, you know,
Yeah.
A.A. Allen, Brother Boatwright. You know, they started that stuff, and the stuff that I saw behind the scenes on that, I just can't with those people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because these are people, the people that come to those people, and I'm not throwing shade, I'm talking from my own personal experience
Right.
of watching it. These are folks that really, really need a healing in their life. You
Mhm.
know, they really do. And they want to
They want to be.
believe there's a power
Yeah.
greater than themselves. And I think we all want that,
Yeah, we
Tony.
do.
You know, and to see them being taken advantage of like
Yeah.
that, it would grate on my last nerve as a kid. And I mean, I would get beaten over the fact that, because I would call my dad out, you know, and he would be like, "That's it, the belt for you." I'm like, "I don't care, because this is wrong," you know. I understand that. I also have seen it with other religions, the Catholic Church. That's another one, you know.
Mhm.
And I, again, not throwing any shade on Catholic or anybody, just it all comes down to the abuse of power, and there's no need for it. You know, you know, I can remember saying to my dad, you know, why don't you just give him the love of Jesus? Why do you got to scare the hell out of them that they're going to die and go to hell if they don't get saved and give you money? I mean, what's
Right.
up with that? You know, like I had a huge thing with it, you know,
Right.
across the board over the years. And it was frustrating to me because of what I saw. I didn't
Right.
like it. And I have seen these other guys, the newest and the brightest, Joel, I think his name's Joel Osteen, that dude.
Osteen, yeah.
I've seen him, I've seen a picture of him. I've never actually seen him work or whatever it is he does up there. Okay, that might have been a little shade thrown. Sorry about that.
A little, just a little.
Sorry about that. Trying to stay neutral here. Kind of hard for me because I get really worked up because I lived it. You know,
Right.
it isn't a joke. I lived it. And I would love to see a world, and maybe I'm being altruistic and coming from a witch who people think is evil. This is going to sound bizarre. I would love to see a world where people can be in their own power, access their own power, which is actually what I teach, and be able to impact their lives using that power for their own good and growth. That for me is the bottom line. That is the bottom line.
I think with social media though, and you know, the reality shows, and even
Yeah.
political, and even the way religion, you know, huge decline in attendance to, you know, churches. I think we're losing. We feel like we've gained power because of the connection, but I feel because of the social media and everything like that, it's given us a false power. And so it's like the people that
Sure.
that behind the scenes that can type, you know, negative towards somebody else, like the online bullying and stuff like that. It's
Yeah, that's really, really, really
so
awful.
I think we've kind of lost our way in a way, I think. Because back in the day, you know, when I was in high school, if you didn't like somebody, you just go up and either you fight them, or, you know, you had to face to face. Now you
I
don't,
remember those days.
right? We didn't
Yeah.
have internet.
Yeah.
And I think we kind of knew back then, like, okay, either I fight back or I just get bullied. Now you go, I don't know who to fight back, because it's just a, you know, a name on the screen. So I think we've kind of lost our way when it comes to because really, how does one find their power in this day and age?
I've talked to my girl about this a lot. We talk about, you know, the brand, where it's going, what it's doing, and I have known for, you know, I came into an evangelist dad. I have known forever that eventually we would get, as a culture, as a species, to the point where they just, you know, they don't buy it anymore because it's not affecting their lives in a good way.
Right.
So I think that people are desperately, especially right now. I mean, you know, when I step out of my little world that I have and I feel the energy out there, people are terrified. You know,
Right.
across the board, they are scared. They are really frightened. And they're looking for something that makes them feel as though they can impact their life, or they can impact their life in some way that is going to be safe and positive and help them to make sense of the craziness.
Right.
I think organized religion has dropped the ball on it. You know, they just haven't given enough of the truth of how to say, you know, The Bible says, "Ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free." That's one of my main mantras even now. And preachers seldom tell the truth. At least that's been my experience with it. And I believe that I suppose the interpretation of truth comes from each individual and their feelings about it at that time. But this is what I know that I can share with you, being a witch who harnesses power that is, intense. There is a force in the universe, if you want to call it the universe, call it that, the power that be, the lady and the Lord, Jesus, Buddha, Gandhi, call it whatever you want. Just call it. That is greater than all of us. I call it the all that is, the creator of everything,
Right.
That intelligence that created everything we see and comes through us to create that, which is why I have tremendous respect for musicians and filmmakers and people like you, Tony. So, you're providing a reality here, whether it's information or escape or both. And I feel that is what is the missing thing. People don't, on social media, you see what, God knows what. I don't really look at it that often because now I'm on it. So it kind of like freaks me out. I never really did look at it, quite frankly, but I've seen things and whatnot. And it's like the focus is off of your own living your own life. I mean, I live in Malibu. So driving down the PCH on Sunday, everybody was parked and they all had their phones out and they were taking pictures of the sunset. So rather than to experience the beauty of the sunset, they wanted to get that perfect shot that they could get it on social media.
Right. That's what I was talking about. We've kind of lost our way when it's more about the acceptance of what other people are. Because I mean, back in the day, we did take pictures with our old style cameras, and
the Polaroids,
and I mean, we did save them for, hey, it's a family reunion. It was Christmas, Thanksgiving. Look at the vacation that we took. So there was, in a way, that, but it wasn't the reaction of every single person had to say, oh, that must have been a great trip. You didn't really care. You were just showing it. Nowadays, if you don't get 200 likes, 300 likes, 500 likes, people will start going, oh my gosh, nobody likes me anymore. And you're just like, wow. I mean, yes, I'm in this industry. I've been in podcasting since 2008. So, a long time.
Good on you.
Yeah. And for years and years, I didn't really know what my, numbers were. And now I'm very pleased with them. But I have to say, I started Truth Be Told kind of for a selfish reason, because most of these subjects, almost all of these subjects, is because I like these subjects and I'm curious about these subjects. And that's why I have the people on that I do, is because I want to learn. I'm a Sagittarius, a truth seeker. So
that's right.
I want to find out more about these subjects so I can be enlightened. And hopefully the people listening can enjoy and be enlightened too. I always say, Truth Be Told is not necessarily your truth, but hopefully it inspires them to go out and seek the truth for themselves. And not just go to one website because,
well, the world of the paranormal is very misunderstood. People think we're wacko, I don't, because I've seen it in real time. So
right.
Very little surprises me anymore.
Right.
I've had so many experiences over the years of me doing the work I do that it's just, there's no way I can deny what I've seen in real time. But I agree with what you say about social media, because people aren't living their lives. They're taking pictures of something they want other people to see.
Right.
And so the focus isn't really on their life, their happiness, their well-being. And there's a horrible thing about, so many likes or whatever. I understand you had a radio show at one point. Is that true?
This has been my radio show. This has been my radio show ever since. Like I said, we're up that almost 1,500 episodes when you add both my shows together. So I've been doing this a long time.
That's a fantastic. I used to have a radio show
Oh,
down
did
in
you?
Redondo Beach. I had a 30-minute show, and
Wonderful.
it was a show where people call in and ask me questions, intuitive questions, you know, and is whatever. Am I going to get a job?
Right.
Am I going to fall in love? Whatever it may be. I mean, the basic human questions is, you know, doesn't really change from generation to generation. You know, am I going to get money and am I going to get love?
Right.
But then there are the others that have moved out of that, going into what is the greater force in my life, and that's where people like you and I come in.
Right.
Because we can bring that to fore. You know, I will say that when I agreed to my mission, I guess, of practicing magic, you know, after the movie and all of that, my life changed dramatically after that, because I was harnessing something that wasn't just my intuition. I do past life regression sessions. I'm a hands-on healer. I go into, you know, I've dealt with ghosts and spirits and all of that. I definitely have dealt with, you know, my walk-in friend, which was, I'll never forget that.
Well, actually, I want to, because we have about 12 minutes left, and I want to really discuss, because you know, this is Truth Be Told. We will love, as you can see in our logo, the alien eye, and we really want to talk about, sometimes with these experts in UFOs. But everybody that I seem to like, oh, I don't really believe in that stuff. But then they'll turn around and go, you know, actually, I had an experience once. And so everybody seems to have an experience or have seen something, if it's a ghost, if it's a UFO. But a lot of people try to kind of just deny it or put it in the back of their head and leave it there for whenever. But you said you had an experience?
Oh, yeah. It was.
Please tell us about that.
That's one of the few things in the thousands of people I've worked with. It is just like bright as it was yesterday. I had an office in the marina back in 80 something, and it was a security building. And early one Saturday morning, I used to do like 15 sessions a day back then. I went to my office, and there was a young man sitting in front of my door. Beautiful, the most beautiful young man I've ever seen, like astounding looking, like black hair and chiseled cheekbones, and my goodness. And he said, I'm here to see, I was told to come to see you. And I said, I don't really have time today. He said, no, you don't understand. I came from another place to see you. And I was like, I don't have time today. He goes, no, I mean another planet. And I looked at him, and I looked in his eyes, and I went, holy, okay, this is not a joke. This guy's okay. He's not from here, you know.
Right.
I mean, my intuition immediately went into, I do not compute with what I'm seeing in this guy's brain, you know. And I let him in my office, and he said, I'm not from here. It's my last day here. I went through a lot of measures to find my way to you. Your light is what attracted, quote unquote, us, and the work you're doing down here. And I just was like, my mind was absolutely blood, like the emoji with the top going off,
right.
You know, that's how I felt. And I said, okay, well, why are you here? You know, like, what's up? And he said, we want to tell you that you're doing and will do important work. And these were the early days of my practice. It wasn't like I'd been on the road with it for a long time. I had just went public with doing sessions, private sessions and whatnot. And I tried to get out of him. I said, where are you from? You know, what planet are you from? And he wouldn't exactly tell me that. He mentioned something, you know, kind of loosely about the Pleiades, whatever, but not really. Okay. And he said, here's how you're going to know I'm real. In the next 72 hours, you will be visited by 3 of my kind who will not look like me. And I was like, holy shit, you know, I mean, again, I was like, you know, I mean, one part of me was totally freaked out. The other part of me was like, take me with you. Just let me take you by the hand. Let's go. And I guess he had my number or left a message on my voice box back then. Remember that, before cell phones?
Oh yeah.
And you know, he said, I left you a message. And I'm like, where? And he goes, on your little box. And I'm like, oh my God. And so then he left, you know, and I had to do 15 people that day, so I couldn't think about it, you know. And at the end of the day, I I went home, and that night, the next night, I was woken up at 3 o'clock in the morning with 3 spheres from ceiling to floor at the foot of my bed.
Hmm.
And they came down, and there were these 3 beings that were like as tall almost to the ceiling, that had white hair, and I can't even tell you the color of their eyes, very chiseled features, looked human, but they were really tall. And they said, we're going to show you how we look at humans. And then I literally saw the screen open. This is, you know, hand in my heart. Okay. I saw the screen open, and there were all these ants, like millions of ants, building these like molehills, like in this vision they gave me.
Right.
And they showed me the vision, and they said, this is how we look at humankind. What are you doing? And then they disappeared. And I'm like, that's it? That's all I get? Oh my God, is that it? And, you know, that was that. But I mean, if we think about it, oh, and then I went to listen back on the voice box, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing but static.
Oh,
I could
wow.
hear the guy's voice, and then static, because I thought I was going to have some profound message I could keep on my voice box, and it was like nothing. I was like, oh my God. I heard him, you know, he was like, thank you for letting me come in today. And then it was like, the rest of it. So annoying. So that, you know, that's what I saw. Over the years, I've seen in passing people that aren't really people, you know, like that. But that was a straight up experience that I was not prepared to see. And my mind was really blown by it. And if I think about the vision of the ants building the molehill kind of thing, I suppose there is reason in that, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, in the last few minutes, I'd like to know, is the people out that are listening to us, is there something they can do to protect themselves from negativity if they can't, you know, if they can't get a hold of you, or can't even afford to have a reading with you or a healing with you? Is there something
Yes.
they can do at home that?
How much time do we have left?
We have about 5 minutes.
Let me take you on. Can I take you on it?
Yes, please.
Will you let me do it for you?
I would love that.
All right. So, okay. There's something called magical breathing. It's like this.
Right. Through your nose, out the mouth.
So I want you to close your eyes.
Okay.
And when I count to 3, I want you to breathe in to the top of your head.
Okay.
And when you exhale the breath, I want you to feel it like warm honey coming through your body and letting go. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Breathe in. Hold the breath. Hold the breath. And exhale. And again, breathe in through the belly, up to the top and back of the head. Hold the breath. Tony, hold the breath. And exhale. And excellent. One more. Breathe in. Hold the breath. Hold the breath. And let it all go. Now, Tony, I want you to see above your head, approximately 9 inches, a golden ball of spinning light.
Okay.
And I want you to just observe the ball spinning for a moment. We're just going to let you acclimate yourself. You might feel a little bit of warmness on your scalp. That is totally normal and okay. So let us just watch this beautiful golden ball as it spins in a clockwise direction. Okay? And now you watch it as it begins to form a web. And it's going to be about 9 inches from your body. And we're going to start in a clockwise motion, and it's going to encompass your entire head area and the top of your shoulders. Continuing to softly breathe as we allow it now to encompass your heart center and the top of your arms. And we're just going to allow this web to slowly work its way around the outer circumference of your body. So we are sealing in the power that I am transmitting to you right now. And we are keeping out that which does not serve you and is anything negative cannot come. We will move now down around the solar plexus area and just allow yourself to receive this beautiful light of protection. The stomach, the abdomen, the second chakra, which is your creative center. We're going to wrap that outer body in this beautiful golden light as it moves to the core, which is the root chakra. Slowly down your legs, over the calves, feet, and toes. Now it gathers up and it enters into the bottoms of your feet. So now we are going to bring this light inside of you. We've protected you on the outside. We're going to fill you up and energize you on the in. So feel it running up your legs, touching the base of your spine, moving up into the second chakra, aligning that chakra, and you will feel your spine start to elongate, moving up into the solar plexus, releasing any fear, doubt, and insecurity at this time. Breathe. Moving up into the heart center, allowing yourself to receive that unconditional love from the universe. Just allow it to come in, and that beautiful magic, just allow it to fill your heart. Moving up into the throat center, which is your communication center. Let us open that and align it. And now up into the area in the center of your forehead, which is the third eye. Let us pause there. Now back up to the crown chakra at the top and back of your head. And it just spurts out and begins to rain down this beautiful golden light. So we have protected you from the outside and filled you from the inside. I will count from 3, 2, 1, and then you will open your eyes. So 3, 2, 1, be present.
Ooh. I made me sweat, whatever it did.
Called power, baby.
Yeah, right? Well, you're
you know
a
what
joy.
I say? Magic saves, darling. A little bit of mommy, a little bit of daddy.
I love it. Well, I appreciate you, and this was fun. I hope you come back. Would you come back again?
Absolutely. I really love your energy, by the way.
Oh,
and
thank
I'm
you.
pretty picky, so yeah.
Well, I appreciate you, and I appreciate everybody tuning in and being in the chat room.
Me too. Thank you for whoever's listening. I love you. Mwah.
And how do
Sending you all.
people find you and get a hold of you?
Instagram, the Witch of Malibu.
Right below.
You can DM me at the Witch of Malibu. My website is going up soon. There will be a link where you can get to me directly on my website. But if you go on Instagram to the Witch of Malibu, that's the only platform I'm on. You can DM me there.
Awesome.
I love you guys.
And we love
Sending
you back.
light.
And so everybody, make sure, if you want to do this on your own, just rewatch this, go to the end and do it yourself. And have her talk you through it, and also listen to our podcast on all the platforms, Apple, iHeart, and stuff. And don't forget, if you're in the Boston area, Truth Be Told is now on WCRN TV 31. So we are excited about that. And thank you guys. If it wasn't for you tuning in and listening, none of this would be possible. So I hope you guys learned something, like I did. But we want to thank everybody for joining us. Until next time, I'm Tony Sweet with Truth Be Told. Take care. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.